Where on earth is that guy? It's January 13th, he should be here by now.
Wait, I'm here. I totally didn't forget or anything, it's just that I was running a little bit late. So wait, what game are we talking about again?
It's Sonic R, you idiot. Now just get on with it. People have been waiting for this for a while.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. Alright, let's just get into it.
So Sonic R has 10 playable characters. The starting characters are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Unlockables include Robotnik, Metal Sonic, Tails Doll, Metal Knuckles, and Egg Robo. The only character I unlocked was Robotnik because he's the easiest to unlock. You just have to get first place in each course. For the other characters, you need to collect a bunch of tokens in each course, which is really annoying. Sonic is the fastest character and has a double jump. Tails, my personal favorite character to use, can of course fly. Knuckles and Metal Knuckles can glide. Amy uses a car and can turn it into a hovercraft on water, and...
Wait a minute, why does Amy use a car? Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles don't use cars, so why does she?
Anyway, Robotnik and Egg Robo can shoot missiles, but it's actually pretty useless. Metal Sonic and Tails Doll, however, have no special abilities. The last character is Supersonic, which of course requires you to get all the Chaos Emeralds, which from my understanding is pretty hard. Supersonic is a godlike character because he has the best stats in the game. Tails Doll and Metal Knuckles were both created specifically for this game, and I guess I should address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am aware that Tails Doll is best known for being a very popular creepypasta. I haven't heard every single story, of course, but from the ones I have heard, they seem pretty stupid. Anyway, now that I've went over all the characters, it's time to get into the courses. The game has 5 total courses, and wait, what? 5 courses? Mario Kart 64 had 16 courses, so what's this game's excuse? Oh well. However, I am glad to say that the majority of the courses are really good. You go through loops, take multiple pathways, and collect rings. You need to collect rings in order to unlock gates in each course. These gates contain either a Chaos Emerald or a token. Like I said, I do really enjoy the courses in this game when you're not trying to collect anything. There's Resort Island, Radical City, and Regal Ruin, which are all really fun. Reactive Factory isn't as good in my opinion, and I don't like the last course, which is the only one you have to unlock. It requires you to get first place in the first 4 courses. I think it's pretty dumb that you need to unlock the final course because if there's only 5 courses, then why would you even bother making it an unlockable? Anyway, the final course is Radiant Emerald, and is basically a ripoff of Rainbow Road. But that's not the only reason why I don't like it. It's also due to the fact that it's incredibly dark and you can barely see anything, so I wouldn't really recommend playing this course during the day. Now, like a lot of other racing games, Sonic R has a time attack mode, but there's different things you can do in time attack. Of course, you can time yourself going through a course, but you can also do it in reverse. There's a Get 5 Balloons game where you have to find 5 hidden balloons as fast as you can. But they must have hidden those balloons really well because I still couldn't find any in Resort Island after looking for 5 minutes. Then there's Tag 4 Characters where you try to tag each character as fast as possible. I tried this out too, and it took me over 5 minutes to tag everyone. Now after hearing all that, you might think I would say that Sonic R is a pretty good racing game, or at least a pretty decent one, right? Well, unfortunately, there's one huge problem that is holding it back, and I think it's a problem that everyone agrees with, even people who enjoy the game, and that is the horrible controls. It's mainly the turning in the game. It doesn't matter who you're playing as, you are going to have a bitch of a time trying to turn. Especially if you were trying to do a 360 turn, you will be there forever, so don't even bother. And that's also the reason why I had such trouble with tagging the characters, because the turning makes it hard to pinpoint it. It's really a shame too, because I honestly think that if it wasn't for the controls, Sonic R would be at least 20 to 30% better. So because of that, I can't really call Sonic R a good racing game. However, I can't help but have fun with it every time I play it. Don't get me wrong, I recognize that it's a pretty bad racing game, all things considered, but I still kinda love it. I'm gonna give Sonic R a 5 out of 10.
So yeah, I really do enjoy Sonic R. I have fun with it every time I play it, but once again, I have to base the score off of what I think of the game as a whole. How the game was made and, if I would recommend it to everybody, or, that's kind of stuff. So I like Sonic R, but it is a pretty bad racing game.
I guess I'll accept that.
But folks, that's the end of the classic Sonic games. From now on, I'm going to be talking about the modern Sonic games.
Wait, hold on a minute. I have a bone to pick with you. Before you go on to the modern age of Sonic, there's still quite a few classic games that you're forgetting about. You didn't even review them.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I probably should address those games too. But also, I want to mention the way I played all of these games that I talked about, and that is the Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Gems Collection compilations. These were compilations that were released in the mid-2000s that contained most of Sonic's classic games.
So the version of Sonic Mega Collection I have is dubbed Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and is exclusive to the PlayStation 2 and Xbox versions. But honestly, you GameCube users aren't missing out on much, because really the only difference is that the Plus version includes 6 of the 12 Game Gear games, and as I've stated, I'm not a fan of the Game Gear games and I wouldn't really recommend them. The only reason I got the Plus version is because I'm a completionist, so there's nothing wrong if you just want the GameCube version. Sonic Mega Collection includes every single Sonic Genesis title, and the Plus version includes Sonic 1 for Game Gear, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Beam Machine for Game Gear, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Drift, Sonic Labyrinth, and Sonic Blast. Then there's Sonic Gems Collection for GameCube, which focuses on obscure Sonic games. It includes Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, and Sonic R, and it features the other 6 Sonic Game Gear titles: Sonic 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic Triple Trouble, Sonic Drift 2, Tails Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventure.
So that was Sonic Mega Collection Plus and Sonic Gems Collection. I would absolutely recommend both of these compilations, especially if you're someone who is trying to get into the Sonic series but has no idea where to start. These compilations are where you start. These are absolutely fantastic. But you may have noticed that there are games on the compilation that I didn't talk about.
So first off, there's 3 Genesis titles that I didn't review. The first is Sonic Spinball, which was released in 1993, and another is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Beam Machine, also released in 1993. Sonic Spinball is self-explanatory, and Mean Beam Machine is a falling block type game similar to games like Tetris. The reason I didn't review these games is because, well, really, what can I say about these types of games? Same goes for the other 2 Game Gear titles, because they're literally just ports of both Sonic Spinball and Mean Beam Machine. The other Genesis game I didn't review is Sonic 3D Blast, which was released in 1996. Some of you might have expected me to review this game since I reviewed games such as Tails Sky Patrol and Tails Adventure, but honestly, the main reason why I didn't review this game is because I just didn't feel like playing it, considering that I haven't heard very many positive things about it. Then there's Sonic the Fighters, which was an arcade game also released in 1996. Once again, there's really not much I can say about it. It's a fighting game with Sonic characters. Moving on. So those are the games that are on these compilations, but there's also games like Knuckles Chaotix, which was released for the Sega 32X in 1995, and Sonic Pocket Adventure, which released for the Neo Geo Pocket Color in 1999. The reason why I'm not reviewing these games is because they were only ever released for those respective systems. Why they weren't included in Sonic Gems Collection, I have no idea. The whole point of that compilation was to include obscure Sonic games, so I don't know what they were thinking. And finally, there's also a version of Sonic 3D Blast, which was released for the Sega Saturn, but I don't have a Saturn, so that's self-explanatory.
So there you go, those are all the games that I didn't talk about. Not to say that I will never review these games, I just think that for now, I'm going to be skipping them just because, you know, I want to move on to other games, I want to review other games. Maybe at some point in the future, or the far future, I will look back on these games, but for now, I'm not going to be doing that. So now we're going to be moving on to the modern era of Sonic, which is still continuing to this day, and we're going to start that by looking at Sonic's first fully 3D adventure, Sonic Adventure. So Sonic, you have anything you want to say about that?
Awesome.